Joining us today here at the Rockpit, we have Electric Mary frontman and founder Russell Rusty Brown joining us. We're now getting near on a month out from the last ever Electric Mary show. It's an absolute pleasure to be chatting to you today, Rusty. Being so close to the end of what is an incredible 22-year journey. Welcome, and how you doing?
Well, firstly, let's get the name right. Russell William Paul Brown.
Well, there you go. There you
The,
go. I've
the
learned
rusty
something already.
the
The
rusty
Rusty.
bit I added in a few years ago because I didn't like being called Russell, but I feel like now that I'm getting older, I should be called Russell again. Um, doesn't matter. I'm going good apart from my finger, which I yeah, it's been sliced open by the doctor twice already this week. So I've got 3 open wounds in there. Don't bite your nails, kiddies. And then don't stick a pin in it when it becomes infected because you're wrecking it even more. I've learnt my lesson well.
Absolutely. Well, you got a month to come right to hold that microphone, so you'll be fine, I'm sure.
I'll still be able to hold the microphone.
Yeah, absolutely. So it all started 22 years ago.
Hmm.
If we can take everybody back, tell me about how Electric Mary came to be.
Well, I was in Erwin Thomas's band slash Jack Jones, the Erwin Thomas band, and I'd already started writing some songs with no real sort of project in mind, but I just wanted to write songs. Um, I remember Jack came around one day and I had the song Stars and he stuck his arm out like this and he said, "Look at that." I said, What? He said, "There's goosebumps all over my arm. That's a great song." I said, "Oh, I'd love you to do a solo on it if you could." And he said, "Yeah, no worries. Just yell out what key it's in and where it's going to." And I swear to you, that solo on that record, he did once, and we took that because it was a demo. We took that demo solo up to Reggie, and Reggie placed it in the song because Jack said, "Erwin, I can do that again when we record it properly. I'll do that again." I said, "No, no, no. You did that as a one-off, mate. That's going in the song somehow, and that is in the song, off my DAT player, straight in the song. It's yeah, marvelous." So anyway, we then went to New York with Erwin Thomas Band, which I played bass in, and he did a showcase. He actually had to do a showcase by himself to, I think it was Babyface. Do you remember that guy,
Yeah,
Babyface?
yeah, yeah,
I feel like he was the head of BMG at the time,
yeah.
Sony BMG, and we played a couple of shows that none of those guys turned up to. Um, and then he had to go and do this one by himself with an acoustic guitar. But he did meet Mary Campbell that night, and she said, "Would you like to come to Jimi Hendrix studio?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, no worries." And he said to me, "What do you reckon, Boof? You want to go?" And I'm like, nah, you go, dude. That'll be good." And then we woke up in the morning, and I went, "Yeah, I'm going to Jimi Hendrix studio. Is that okay still?" He's like, "Yeah, let's go." We had more than one piece of luck that day too. So we go to Jimi Hendrix studio. Mary's talking to us and just telling us these amazing stories. And I pulled him by the jumper and I said, "Mate, we're standing in rock and roll history here. Are you listening to the people that have been here and done things? Lennon, Bowie, Guns N' Roses, Kiss, The Kinks, Foreigner, Radiohead, Stevie Wonder over a period of time." And I'm just like, whoa, this is magic. Anyway, at the end of it, I signed my name right underneath Keith Richards on the wall of fame. Not that we were famous, but anyone who was looking for Keith Richards will find my name there. And she gave me a card at the end, and she said, "Stay in contact with me. That's me down the bottom, Electric Mary." And I said, "Yeah, that's a great name for a band." She's like, oh, you won't name your band after me? Yeah, I will. And years later, write a song about you as well, which is Sweet Mary C. Unfortunately, Mary passed away a couple of years ago. But we did have the opportunity to go back to New York a few times, or she was in New Jersey actually, and we stayed with her and recorded with her at another studio called the Barbershop Studios, which was amazing as well. We worked with Jason Casaro there. I think that's how you say his name. He's worked with Soundgarden, Madonna. I think he's a Grammy Award winning engineer. He also was passed away. So, story there is, folks, don't hang around Electric Mary. No,
Well,
but my second piece of good luck that day was we went across the road to a pizza shop and we just had a slice of pizza, and Erwin was looking for some jackets. I feel like old 60s or 70s jackets, and there was a store across the road. So we went to that store and was looking through jackets. And I think I might have bought something. I went, oh, yeah, where's my wallet? I left it in New York in a pizza store under this chair, and it was still there when I got back with my passport as well.
oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Wow. I mean, chances of that happening ever, remarkable. It
Yeah.
was meant to be. It was obviously meant to be.
It was
So,
meant to be.
so the formation of the band around that was obviously yourself and Erwin, and what came next?
Well, it was still really all about Erwin Thomas Band. The unfortunate thing for the Erwin Thomas Band, and maybe the fortunate thing for Electric Mary, was Sony BMG then bought the rights to Idol, and that was the end of all the bands. UMI, Erwin Thomas. I think in Australia they dropped 33 bands straight away.
Wow.
And they just came up with Idol was going to be the way. Put people on television, get people to sit down with their Uber Eats and tell us who you want as the star. We don't send A&R guys out anymore. And the people, said Guy Sebastian. And Guy Sebastian was the first one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a superstar, though. They haven't come up with anyone else after that, I don't think. Have they? They may have.
No, I don't think they have actually. No, they've all sort of come and gone as quickly as they've arrived.
Yeah. He's stayed around though. Shannon Knowles is still around. But there's been a lot of people come and go. I'm sure there's been some who still do good. Actually, the one who's surprised me was Casey Donovan.
Casey Donovan, yeah.
Because did she have an addiction somewhere and she got in a bit of trouble, or herself she was in trouble? But she's come back strong.
Yeah, yeah.
She's a good singer.
Yeah.
Not that I sit around watching those stuff. I did watch The Voice for a long time, or a few years at least, and I love the chair turning around, because I'd see people on there and think, wow, you're actually a very good singer.
Yeah.
What I always found was when the coaches got their hooks into them, they spoilt them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we want you to do this Elvis Presley song today because, we need to know, that you can do any type of... No, you don't. The best thing of all about music is being put in a box. You know why? Because then audiences know who you are.
Yeah.
Now, I had another band before Electric Mary, Mr. Brown. And we had Triple J hit, and, we went overseas. We're going to make Canada our home. Kind of go in between the two countries. And I would never try and write the same songs twice. But that was a downfall of Electric Mary, Mr. Brown, because we never had anything people could latch onto, because they might like a song, and then the second one that come around was maybe a little bit too different to go, because people like musical styles. I know that people like all different kinds of bands and solo singers and that, but they like styles. Like for me, when I hear a raspy voice, I listen to the song.
Yeah.
Because I like the sound of raspy voices.
Yeah.
Paul Rogers, David Coverdale, whoever.
Yeah.
Give me a raspy voice and I'm listening. The problem with the raspy voice is now they're made through AI, and it's a combination of everybody's voice.
Mm.
AI songs come out now, and I think, wow, that's actually a pretty good song, and that's disturbing to me because it's not real.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
far from real.
that's the scary part of the way that music is going these days. I was actually watching just before we jumped on this a Rick Beato video.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be familiar with Rick and his analysis of the industry and how it is, and interviewed like the head of Warner Music, or as an interview with the head of Warner Music, and he's trying to explain what record labels look for these days, and he's just talking this whole heap of jumble.
Mm.
And at the end of it, Rick's breaking it down. He's going, well, they want somebody that can already promote themselves. They want somebody that has great socials, that has great interaction, great fan retention, or great people retention. It's not about a personality in the music so much anymore. It's about how many people you can reach and how influential you can be. And that's taken away from the art of making music today. And AI is, the next step. That it's frightening where it's going to go. I think the authenticity of music, it'll come back round. I'm sure it will come back round, and I'm sure that AI will lose its luster at some stage. But at the moment, it's pretty daunting times.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will lose its luster. You know why? Because the people who love that kind of thing, like you and I don't know how old you are, but I'm actually 65. I'm on the downward slide, right? I don't have that many years left. But kids who grow up with AI will grow up with it and stay with it. They're not going to look for something new. They're going to grow up and they're going to like what they like, and whether it's a real voice or not a real voice, they won't care. They'll think, is it a good song? And like I said before, in my opinion, I've heard a couple of AI songs where I've gone, wow, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So they're not all good, but neither's anybody's songs. Not every song I write's good either. Well, it's true.
Yeah, well, I guess so. So we've digressed a little bit. The next addition to Electric Mary is Pete Robinson, yes?
Pete Robinson came along. I met him at the Corner Hotel. I think we'd played a couple of shows with Sneaking Mr. Brown at the Evelyn. And, we didn't have a lot to say. We just said hello, kind of. We did a residency there. But then a friend of ours, Reggie Bowman, had part of his studio burnt down, and they had a thing at the corner to help raise some money. And I did Electric Mary there, but it wasn't called Electric Mary. It was called Tappet Clearance. Electric Mary's name I was saving for another time, for the time when it was right. But the one thing I noticed when we played that day was the amount of applause we got at the end of each song that people didn't know because they'd never heard them before. There's polite clapping, and then there's clapping where you go, oh, they actually like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, cool. So I remember being at the bar and Pete was there, and I said, would you be interested in starting a band like you would have started when you were 15, 16? He goes, well, what do you mean by that? I said, just play music, play guitar solos, because you got to remember, we're coming out of grunge. They don't have guitar solos. There's no guitar solos.
No.
The people are looking at their feet, shoegazing. Still great songs, no doubt about it. But there was no drum solos, no crowd interaction. Like when I went to the first band I ever saw was in 1972, was Black Sabbath at Festival Hall. There was crowd interaction. Every Festival Hall show I went, the entertainment thing was there. You've got to entertain. You still have to do it today. You've got to entertain people. So, I said, let's just do songs. Don't worry about logos and record companies. Let's just make songs and let's see what happens. He said, yeah, I'm in. And he was in. Look, I think Erwin was with me anyway because we were both in the same band. We lived around the corner from each other. We recruited Andy MacGyver from Taxi Ride.
Yep.
He was our very first bass player. Well, a lot of people playing Electric Mary, by the way. So he was the first one. Then he had to make a decision whether to stay in Taxi Ride or be in Electric Mary, and he chose Taxi Ride, which is totally fair enough. Problem is, they broke up a few months later. Then we had Nilo in our band. Patch has played guitar. Timmy Henwood has played guitar with us. And I think the first kind of real Electric Mary was with Andy MacGyver, Erwin, Pete, Venom, and myself. And then Andy left and Nilo came on, Fox Fagan.
Yeah.
He plays with Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters at the moment over there in LA. And that sort of hung around for a while, and I feel like Alex was living with Nilo at the time. Now I didn't really know Alex. He was in another Bug Dust. He was in a band called Bug Dust. And we played a couple of shows with them. I thought they were rude. And anyway, one day at the Ding Dong Lounge, Alex came in the band room, I feel like was. Maybe the boys were doing guitar solos. And he said to me, I don't know, maybe it was a sound check. He said, I'd love to be in a band like yours. I was looking at him like, really? But you're the headline act, man. We're actually supporting you. He just said, I'd love to be in a band like yours. Anyway, it came to pass that Nilo left, went to live in the States. And he said, give Alex a try. And I said, yeah, no worries. So he came down and he was immediate to me. Like, I'm actually a bass player. I started playing bass and he's better than I am, but we have similar things that we do within the bass guitar realm. And I just really liked it. Alex brings like a kind of punk element to our band.
Yeah.
And it's a big feature. And in many ways, he's like another frontman too, you know. He's got a thing, and a couple of I've had this discussion with him, so it's not anything that nobody doesn't know. But a couple of people said, "Oh, I don't know about that guy, man. You know, he takes up a bit of your space." I'm like, mate, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
What do you just want to have one guy in your band that has a bit of emotion?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's his thing. He does his thing, and Pete does his thing. Brett does his thing. They've all had a thing. Erwin had a thing, and that's the beauty. Even though we've had quite a number of members come through, the songwriting process has always stayed the same. I've been the main writer, but probably in the later years, Pete and Alex stepped up more into the realm. The deal we have between Alex and Pete is that I write the melody and I write the lyrics. You can do all the music; it's totally fine. Sean was written by Alex. Woman was written by Pete. You know, all the music. 3 Days Gone is Alex. Long Time Coming, I think, is Alex. Pete, Nicotine. There's like lots of songs. As long as I get to write the lyrics and the melody, just because I have to sing them.
Yeah.
And there has been a couple of times where someone said something like Spider might say, or Brett, you know, oh, what if you said that? I'm like, well, I'm looking at them going, oh, don't tell me what to do. And then I'd go and use their words. And they just quietly acknowledge in their heads, yeah, you were listening to what I was saying.
Absolutely. Now, 2004, Four Hands High comes out.
Yep.
They debut. The single Sail On is unleashed and gets an ARIA chart placement. What happens next? What happens for the band next?
So at that stage, we weren't really a band. It was Venom and I. Pete played guitar on it. Irwin played guitar on it. Cam McKenzie from Horsehead played guitar on it. I played guitar. I played all the bass. The band situation came after that when we really wanted to play, when I really wanted to play. So we put out the song and it was pretty good. So the original idea was this. If you ever look at the film clip, you see a man with a plug for a face, the Australian plug. That was Reggie's idea. He put that thing together. So what Electric Mary was going to be, because remember, I was 44 years old at that stage. You're basically finished, really. Well, that's what people think. Not so much now. I mean, we've been to Europe. No one's ever asked how old I am. They just ask, are you good or are you shit? So the original Electric Mary was going to be just that person, like Gorillaz kind of thing.
Yeah.
Make the music and do that. But, and then we want to play because I love playing. So, the band formed after that. The film clip for Busted was Irwin, Pete, I think Andy MacGyver.
Yeah.
And Venom and I.
Yeah.
And then we moved from there.
Fantastic. Then 2008, the doors blow open. This is where I first discover you guys, and I think most of Australia do. After building a solid live reputation, Down to the Bone comes out.
Yeah. But before that, where we really got found was The Definition of Insanity.
Yeah.
So The Definition of Insanity was an EP which had half the songs of Down to the Bone on it. And it was because the French came to us and said, well, we only deal in albums, that we wrote the other half of the songs and made Down to the Bone.
Oh, there you go. That's something I didn't know. I didn't know the history behind that. So,
yeah, so it was the first album, then The Definition of Insanity. So that had 5 songs on it, which is probably One in a Million, Let Me Out. Gasoline and Guns came later. Yeah, No One Does It Better Than Me was on that. I can tell you if you want to know, if you want me to look it up.
No, it's all good. That's all good. We'll figure that one out.
We'll figure that out. And then, Down to the Bone came. And the biggest thing with that was when we played with Whitesnake in Melbourne. The keyboard player, Timothy Drury, he just fell in love with us and said, I'm going to help you get overseas. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm like, are you serious, man? I mean, we only just met 10 minutes ago. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are good. And I'm like, okay. So we borrowed 20 grand for 2 shows. We borrowed 20 grand to get over there.
Yeah.
Johnny Gerarda was our guy we borrowed the money from. We had to pay him back. He was a friend of the girl running our merch at the time. And, Johnny.
Absolutely. So those 2 shows in Europe, who are you playing with? And
we played with Whitesnake. We played with Whitesnake in France, in Paris, and then Belgium in Brussels. And I feel like we had another couple of shows maybe, but then we went back pretty much the next year and played Hellfest, and that was a great. Well, like, people saw us at the Paris show, and Hellfest is in a place called Clisson, which is near Nantes, and we were there. Alice Cooper, Motorhead, Kiss, Airborne were on actually that day. Who else was on that day? We're not gonna take it. What are they called? Twisted Sister. I remember Venom saying to me, you should watch Twisted Sister. I said, Twisted Sister? I'm gonna watch that. It's rubbish. He goes, no, you'll like it. There's at least 2 things that I remember that Venom told me I'd like that I said no to. Twisted Sister, and they were very good. And the other one was Black Sabbath, for the Black Sabbath, with Ronnie James Dio. I loved Ronnie James Dio,
Yeah.
but I wasn't a huge fan of Black Sabbath then. The Mob Rules. He said, have you heard this album? I said, no. We listened to it about 10 times in a row on the way home, driving home from Sydney. So yeah, now one of my favorite albums of all time. I love it
Absolutely.
all. Yeah,
That's
I get a bit of, I'm a bit of a stickler for that. I get a little thing in my head every now and then and think that'll be no good. And surprisingly, I always said this about the best band I've ever seen live, and it probably might blow you away and the listeners, or it might not. But U2, oh my God.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mate used to tell me for 20 years, I said, mate, I hate you, dude. Stop talking about it. You're always talking about them. And then we went to, was it Love Comes to Town tour?
Yeah, yeah.
He
Rattle
took
and
me
hum.
there,
Yeah.
ran on hum, and I'm like, oh my God. We went to the movie first, the big cinema, and I was like, right, this is a proper band.
Mm.
And when you're they've done the greatest entry to a show ever. When you're in the audience of a U2 show and The Streets Have No Name kicks in, it's all over. I've
Yeah.
never had a feeling in my body like that when that song kicks in and the people around you are just going mental.
Yeah.
I've never actually had that feeling from another band. I've had great feelings from bands, of course, but never had a feeling like that. I remember one time we were doing, I think it was the Elevation tour. We talked about it yesterday, actually, to the same guy. Anyway, we're on the side and we're watching, and I said to Adrian, that's my mate, I said, you two are on stage, man. I saw them walk out. He's like, nah, you're stupid. The lights are on and the music's playing. I think it was the Beatles. I said, mate, they're on stage. I saw them walk out.
Yeah.
And I go, not only that, they're playing a song. And he's like, you're mad. I go, no, look, they're playing and you could hear it. And the lights are on and all that. I can't remember which song it was. God, I wish I remembered. I said, there might have been Elevation. Anyway, when the chorus kicked in, the lights in the stadium went down, the stage lights come on, and the PA came on. And I'm like, who's in charge of that button? Like,
Yeah.
who's touching that button to make that go bang?
Bang. Yeah.
I've never seen it again.
Wow.
Nobody's ever done that. They were playing the song with no PA and the house lights on. They were playing
Yeah.
the song. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've actually heard Dave Grohl describe the same thing. I watched his video one day and I was like, yeah, I saw that. It's the
Yeah.
greatest thing I've ever seen. How do you do that?
Yeah. Incredible stuff.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. So going back to 2008, there's also the Venom Principle EP, which drops as well, which
Yes.
is
That's called a. So I had this.
that was a sampler more or less, wasn't it?
No. What we were going to do was this. I said, this is always going to be a money thing. I like a friend of mine's wife paid for the manufacturing of the definition of insanity.
Hmm.
I don't even really know her. She paid for it.
Wow.
He said to me, how many of them are you going to get made? I said, I'll just get 100. I've got no money.
Hmm.
And I think she paid to get 500 made. He goes, no, you're mad. I'll ask my wife if I can have a credit card because he didn't have a credit card. Anyway, she paid. She got her money back. But yeah, so the Venom principle was this. I said, look, why don't we just record 3 songs? And we won't call it an EP. We'll call it a 3P. And so we were going to do 3 songs and then, a few months later, raise some more money, record some more songs and do another 3 songs. And then a few months later, which is how people do stuff now. Because
Yes.
I've always said EPs. Forget albums. Everyone goes, oh, no, I love an album. Do you?
Yeah.
If you're in a band You can't put 10 new songs into your set. It's impossible. If
Mm.
you're in a band like Electric Mary, especially, why don't you just put out 3 songs and put them in the set? And
Yeah.
so the people buy them and they hear them.
Yeah.
You're not going to put 10 songs in the set. You're always going to hear Let Me Out, No One Does It Better Than Me, Gasoline and Guns, Love Me, Give Me Love, Already Gone, My Best Friend, or even though it's a Mr. Brown song. They're always going to be played. So you can't put 10 new songs in a set. And the people usually come to see you because of your old songs, not because of your new songs. Hopefully your new songs get taken up. And that's why we've just done singles lately. But anyway, back to the Venom principle. Yes, that's what we were going to do. But then we're about to make our second album, which was Electric Mary 3. So those songs are on that album as well.
Absolutely, which is this beastie here, which was
Yeah.
packaged with the incredible Gaelic Club show from Sydney in 2010.
No.
Yeah,
Is that a French version?
that's a French version.
Yeah, you've got the French version. Yes, yeah, right. Because Long Time Coming EP come before that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just about to touch on that because Gaelic Club, its own release came out after 3, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So I met that guy last year, actually, when I was doing the Mike Tramp tour. He looked at me, he said, "Oh, you might not remember him." I said, "Oh, you're the guy who did the video, aren't you?" And he said, "Yeah, good memory." So this guy calls me or messaged me, whatever. It was probably, what was around in 2010? MySpace or Facebook?
Would have been probably that crossover period, I reckon.
Right.
Would have been pretty close to a crossover.
Anyway, he got on to me and he said, "Hey, my name is this. I've just started a company that does films rock bands. I've got a four camera digital high quality, blah blah blah. Put it through the desk, and we had Ricky Ray on sound. We were actually on tour with Deep Purple at the time. They didn't play on the Saturday night. We played.
Yeah.
Anyway, I said to the guy, yeah, no worries. How much is it going to cost? And he said, no, nothing. I'm new at it. I just want to try it out. And as I said, yeah, look, you can do it, but you have to show me first.
Yeah.
Send me a DVD or whatever of it. And if it's not good, I don't want people putting up stuff that's no good, because heaps of stuff gets up there that's no good.
Yeah.
Anyway, he eventually sends it to me and I'm like, my jaw just hit the ground. Like, to me, that's how I hear Electric Mary.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't see it because I'm on stage.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it feels to me. That is one of the greatest showcases of our band, or if not the best.
Oh, the energy in that show is just insane.
Yeah, and there's not one edit or cut or fix up a bit, or it's exactly how we played.
My God, there you go. Incredible.
Anyway, I did pay the guy because I said, mate, we're going to sell this.
Yeah.
This is that good. He goes, oh, yeah, I had 4 cameras, but one of them was behind Venom maybe and was bouncing, so he couldn't use it. It's only 3 camera shoot, but yeah, he did a great job.
Fantastic job. That still gets a regular play here. It's fantastic. So with 3, Mary ramped up again. The volumes turned up again. And
that was Glenn. That was a crossover between Glenn Proudfoot and Irwin at that time, because Irwin left just before Hellfest because he was going back to do his own stuff, and Nathan Cavalieri played at Hellfest and that tour, and he was great. He only had a few weeks to learn the songs. We went to the World Cup in South Africa as well and played with Powderfinger and Fatboy Slim, and he was great. He was really cool. He couldn't stay in the band though, so we got Glenn Proudfoot, and he was great too. He came on another tour with us. I'm not sure what year, maybe 2012 or something. But he was another great guitarist. I spoke to him the other day. We've had some fairly world-class guitarists coming through our band.
Absolutely. And, from there, I guess, 2012 also sees From the Vault, the Japanese only best of,
Yes. Yes. We
which
write two
I
new songs.
paid a small freaking fortune to buy just for a version of My Best Friend to be in the collection. At that stage, it was pretty hard to come by. So I mean, it was a lovely addition to that. Was there an intention to take Japan by storm, or was there a Japanese market interest around that time?
Oh, definitely. We got signed to a label over there, but I feel like they fell over just after we signed with them. That would have been perfect for us to go to Japan because it's closer, and the Japanese love rock and roll. I mean, that people were not lining up in their thousands, but maybe 30 people rocked up to a train station one day and had us signing stuff. I'm looking at them thinking, how do you even know we're here?
Yeah, how do you know about us?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
fantastic.
I played a solo gig. We did two things. So I played a solo gig at Tower Records in Japan.
Yep.
That's where I found out about K-pop. I wouldn't have an idea what K-pop was. Tower Records is 8 stories high, and 4 of those floors are K-pop music.
Yeah.
4 out of
Yeah.
8.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's its own. It's its own entity. It's nuts.
It's the biggest selling music in Australia right now.
Absolutely, it is. It has
Yeah.
been for probably the last 18 months.
Right.
It's
Yeah. That and country.
Well, yeah. Country's drawn a bit of a fine line for me. It's crossing over too close to rock.
Well, it's
I
rock.
think.
It's rock pop.
Yeah, it's Nickelback,
Mm.
or what Nickelback have become. I think.
There's another story. Nickelback. They actually asked us to come on their tour of Australia in 2010, maybe, and their agent was glowing, and I said, "We're on tour, man. We're going to be on tour. I mean, we can do everything, but we can't do the last 2 shows." And I never heard from him again.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the stuff he wrote, if this is what Australia's got to deliver, you guys are the greatest singing. The band loves you, the thing. And then I just said, well, we're going to do Hellfest, man. There's no chance in the
Yeah.
world that we are going to miss out on that. I would have liked to play with Nickelback too, but yeah, never called again. He never. I sent him a few messages, and I got the message, so to speak, that yeah.
Okay.
That's done.
This
Nickelback.
conversation's finished. Yeah.
Yeah, this conversation is over. Yeah, but yeah, so I went to Japan. We did the 2 shows. I said, welcome Tokyo to when I wasn't in Tokyo, so that didn't go down too well. It was great. Those shows were great. They were very well attended, and we had the new record out, and that we were in magazines over there. We did live radio. Alex and I did a television show that was like kind of like the Molly Meldrum of Japan. This guy was a very well respected guy. Funny thing, we were in the green room, and they said, we're ready for you in their broken English, and everyone that worked in that on the set or whatever were lined up either side of the hallway clapping us as we walked through.
Like a guard's honour. Wow.
Yeah. It was like I'd played 350 games for the Swans.
God, crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. Oh, it's about respect, man. It's where you learn. Alex and I just looked at each other and just went, yeah, this is about respect here,
Absolutely. And then we see new music again from you guys in 2014 with The Last Great Hope, which was where I first heard about that theory of yours of not releasing albums but EPs, and I guess I think we met probably not long or around that time. I think it was when we first met. So that EP was, the debut of Brett from memory. Live it was, I know.
Yeah, live it would have been. Yeah, it would have been his first go around.
Yeah.
That album, that EP was conceived in Moama, just on the border there of New South Wales. Again, Johnny Gerardo used to have a little cabin there, so I went to a cabin for a few days, and I remember ringing Alex and saying, "Hey man, I think I've come up with one. You know, I just think I've come up with it," which was Sweet Mary C. But originally it wasn't called Sweet Mary C. It was called Already Here. So I came up with Welcome to the Other Side, Sweet Mary C, Already Gone. Pete came up with is Nicotine on that one?
Nicotine's on that.
Yeah, and Pete came up with that musically. And then we did another version of So Cruel, which I loved because I didn't have a great time on the first version of So Cruel, and I just loved that song, and I thought I'm going to do it again. So we did it again. And I got talked out of the Already Here thing, which in fact worked better for it. But my idea was to open with Already Here and finish with Already Gone.
Yeah.
The melodies are the same, the lyrics are different. So yeah. When everything I wanted was already here, sweet Mary C. It's all the same.
Yeah.
There's actually footage of it on YouTube if you want to find us rehearsing it brand new when it's not called Sweet Mary C. It's called Already Here. It's pretty cool, actually.
I'll have to go check that out for
Well,
sure.
Davey Porter was in the band then too. It would have been Davey's first go around on drums.
It would have been too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd actually forgotten a
Mm.
little bit about that being Davey's time too.
Yeah.
So you head back to Europe, and in 2016 you released Live in Eldorado, a place that I believe is very special to all of you. I know
Yeah.
Pete speaks of it fondly, and I know it holds a special place with you. Tell me about that connection that you have with Eldorado and why you decided to do the album there, the live record there.
Well, actually, Irwin went on that tour. So Irwin's on that record. Brett couldn't come. I think he was Pete Murray maybe touring. The crossover between the two guitarists and the two bands that they were also in at the time was always a bit of a headache. So I think of Juan, who runs Eldorado, just said to me one day, you can record this on Pro Tools, €300. And I said, yeah, let's do that. No worries. So I brought those tapes home and they stayed because that came out in 2016, maybe?
Yeah, 2016.
So it was done in 2014. I remember finding them beside my bed one day and I rang Pete and I said, oh, do you have any way to listen to this stuff? And I took them over to him or whatever and he got something and he rang me one day and he goes, mate, you need to listen to this. It's actually pretty good. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So we listened and I went, wow, should make a record out of that. And we did. Now, Eldorado is an anomaly for us because even Juan doesn't understand why we can play 2 sold-out shows there and other people don't because we're just a band from a small country called Australia. It's a big country in size. There's other bands from Australia who I've looked up to that play there and they just don't pull anybody. Like Hoodoo Gurus had 100 there. It's like, really? They're the Hoodoo Gurus though. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. You guys, for some reason. Yeah. So that's our sort of home away from home in Europe. Eldorado, there's 400 there each time we step up to the stage. So yeah, great place, great people. I think that the audience knows that they are part of that as well.
Yeah.
The part of why is this band come here and it's so special. It's a lot to do with the audience as well.
Yeah.
They're the ones that decided not us. We don't decide how many people are going to come. They're the ones who decide that they liked us, and yeah, it's really cool.
Excellent. And, so between Last Great Hope, we then take a bit of time. We get to 2019 and you deliver the absolutely blistering Mother.
Mother, you've got the French version. You really have.
I do. And I've also got the Piss Yellow sitting behind me.
Oh, yeah.
But this one's special. This is the one that you guys all signed for me.
Oh, nice.
So including young Mr. Chowie, he signed the photo on the back. So
Nice.
very, very special place for me with that one.
Do you know, to me, that's second to none. Like a lot of people always say Down to the Bone because just that's where they first heard us. It's like me with Deep Purple. I always say Stormbringer.
Yeah.
That's 5 albums in, 6 albums in. I still loved them before that, but when I hear that record, I'm like, wow. And we spent a lot of time together in this actual studio where I am today. And it's the only record we've ever done pre-production on because I wrote mostly at home. We never did pre-production. I said, this is how the song goes. Now let's play it. And, we did whatever we had to do. This one was a band collaboration in a pre-production kind of sense. And I loved that. There was a couple of beautiful mistakes being made. One particularly on the song Sorry Baby. It actually had a different middle section.
Yeah.
And Alex played the wrong note one day. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And if Alex plays a wrong note, he'll put his hand up. I don't know if he ever does it on stage, but he does it at rehearsal. Yep, sorry, that was me. Sorry. Anyway, I went, no, stop. I said, that's great. He's looking at me. I'm like, no, that's the note. What are you playing there? I think it was a D or something instead of an E minor. And I just sung, the middle section. We worked out what we were going to do. And it's the song you hear today. And I actually cried in that song when I sung that. Yeah, I cried. It's 2 songs I've cried in. Sorry, not Sorry Baby, but Sorry,
yeah.
Which was about my dog. Sorry,
Yes.
things turned out this way. People think it's a love song, but it's not a love song. Well, it is a love song. It's about my dog. And the other one was Sorry Baby. So both songs have sorry in it. Yeah, when Brett does this guitar lick, the re-entry into that, the second bridge, is like, oh my God, I just cried. I still sung it. I might have had to sing it again, but it was like, yeah. The crying on Sorry, the song Sorry, is actually on the record. It's still there. I remember Ricky saying, oh, we'll fix that bit up. I said, no. That stays, man. That's actual emotion right there.
Yeah.
It's right at the end. Yeah.
It's and that record again was the one that really, in my household introduced my son to you guys. He'd heard a lot of stuff from the back catalogue. Absolutely loved Gasoline and Guns, and 3 and Last Great Hope were probably his earliest engagements with the band. But Mother was the one that switched him on. That was that light bulb moment for him. So it was such a great record and has such a special place. And I have a connection through you guys with him, and the power of rock and roll. And I'd like to thank you guys for that as well.
Oh, well, I'm glad it reached somebody. It has reached people. I get messages every now and then on our the Gmail that runs through our website of people. There's a guy in Mexico who said, I get up an hour early every day so I can listen to your music since I found you.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, from Mexico, like different culture, different language, different everything, but our songs reached him. And, we've got people, Brendan Nelson, he's coming from, where does he live? Where's Celtic? No, not Celtic. The American. Boston. That's where he's from.
Yeah.
He's coming. He's coming.
Oh, he's coming out, is he?
Yeah, Johnny Landry's coming out from wherever he lives in America. Well, a guy told me the other day from Spain he's coming.
Oh
He's
my
coming
God.
over here for the last show. And, you know, those people have been connected with us. Johnny Landry, the third, he found us at White Snake. He's a huge White Snake fan. He goes to everything. And he saw us in Paris, and he's been to 8 or 9 tours, I think, with
Oh
us now.
wow.
Yeah, so he's coming out. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be big, and it connects with people around the world, and that's the best part of it. When we did Hellfest, I was 50 years old. That was my first big outdoor concert. I'm 50.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking in the audience, and 5 rows deep are singing our songs back to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, how good's this?
Yeah.
Northern Suburbs guy from Melbourne, you know?
You never know your luck, you know. That's
Yeah.
and I mean that's what I think that's what every musician strives to have, is to have that connection and to know that there is that impact and that you know that connection.
Yeah.
And that's
And
what
it's
music's all about, you know.
and it's great when you hear about it, you know, because when the people are overseas write you an email, they think about how they're going to say it because they don't speak English. So they're not just blabbering. They're thinking about how they're going to say it. And it's
Yeah.
really cool. I put up a couple of posts when we got back from people from France that are just, you know, a beautiful one from a guy who's friends with Bruce Dickinson, actually. And, you know, I know he's taken his time to write it. It's not just, he's not just doing this and sending it. He's thinking about what he's saying to me and how we've made him feel over a 15-year period.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's got to be amazing to receive that sort of, you know, heartfelt stuff back from fans and from people that you know get what you do.
Yeah.
If we go back to the Mother album, now that album, in my eyes, should have been a massive global record for you guys. I know there were talks with an Australian record company to have done something with it locally. That obviously didn't come to fruition, even though they still show you on their roster.
Well, they own the rights to America for that album, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, did it do anything in the States? Did you get?
I don't know if they released it. I'll tell you, we don't need to name names.
No, no.
But I don't actually have a problem with that guy. Me and him have had some great conversations.
Oh, it's
But
not a bad bloke at all. No.
no, what I had to say to him was this: you have to give us money to do the next record because we can't keep doing it ourselves. People are going to work every day to try and, you know, come rehearsal at 7 o'clock and be tired by 9 o'clock because they've got up at 4:30 to go to work. And that's what happens in our band because we're managed, funded, whatever. And I said, you know, you got to drop 80 grand in our bank. And then I can tell the boys, hey, we can get paid to do this, because he wanted to go overseas and do it and everything. And I feel like it wasn't his fault. I feel like we couldn't get the connection right.
Yeah.
And so it never happened. But he does own the rights to the vinyl in America. And hey, maybe, you know, when I cark it, he'll put it out and it'll be good. I don't think he ever did it. I should ask, actually. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him, so he's fine by me. We've had some great chats.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, you've tapped into that sort of, you know, Central Europe.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
It would have been nice to have seen that same sort of love for the band spread across America being handled.
I reckon there's someone now in Central Europe who did the vinyl, who wants to do the vinyl for Down to the Bone. And I would like I can't call it a greatest hit, so I'd like a best of That would have been better for us. We were meant to do it in 2023 when we went there, but it didn't happen. That would have been great. A vinyl of the best of. It would have had to been a double vinyl though, because you can only fit the length of our songs. We worked out we could only fit 9 songs on there.
Yeah.
So we'd want to have a double vinyl and maybe have 14 songs on there and spread it out over, so it sounds better in the grooves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we had a chat, and I think I've sort of thrown my hat in the ring by saying around the time of the 20th anniversary, where's the box set?
Mm.
A vinyl box set would be amazing if that can be put together too. It's never too late, mate.
Well, I would be, and there's also the songs that we never released that were recorded that maybe we thought were good at the time and then just never really kicked into our hearts. I'm sure Pete's got demos of stuff that we haven't released, because I used to go to his place a lot, and because he's so good, he's quick on the Pro Tools. And Alex actually is pretty good on the Pro Tools as well. So there's songs there that we just never released that we could fix, and that could still happen, because the entity of Electric Mary won't die with the last show. Just the live show will die that day,
Yeah.
And we need to finish on top.
Yeah.
We don't want to go out there, we still love it. So we still enjoy playing those songs. So let's finish it there. And, it's fine.
For sure. So from Mother comes 3 singles: King of Rock and Roll, 3 Days Gone, and Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I had a feeling that there was going to be another EP sort of emerging out of that stuff, as they're only streaming these days.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an intention, or is there another track that would be thrown into that and that would be given consideration?
There's 2 songs that we've got that are close to finish that I might need to sing again. So they'll definitely come out after we're finished. They won't come out before we're finished though. The one of them has a bit of work to do between Alex and I on some keyboards on the back end, and I need to sing a couple of things. One's kind of finished, but I'd like to hear that again and maybe think about it. There's a whole bunch of other songs we've done just after COVID that need to be looked at. Definitely. There's a song that's 14 years old, I reckon, that Pete and I still think is one of our best songs, but for some reason we can't get Alex over the line on it.
Yeah.
It's we can definitely look at them. Those songs definitely can be looked at again.
For sure. So then obviously you've just wrapped up in August and September. You finished up the last tour of Europe.
September, October.
October. You just wrapped up the last run of Europe. So how many trips to Europe has that been? Did that make?
Yeah, that's a good question. I reckon 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. I reckon we went 4 years in a row, maybe. Then 14, 16, 19, 23, 20. I reckon it's 9, at least 9 or 10. We went to America too and tried to do something there out of New York, but that never quite worked for us. It was a good time though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so we come to the present and the now. So 13th of December is the final Electric Mary live show at the Croxton Bandroom. Who have you got with you on the bill?
We've actually got Spider's son's band, and they're a bunch of 13 and 14-year-olds. Cooper might be the oldest. He might be 15. He's just going to be so good. He's already good. He's just turned 15. So I just said to him while there, why don't we just get your band on first, and you can do a show on that because he's a great kid. And the second band were about to announce yesterday, but he got sick, so he couldn't be with me. So next week we'll announce it. We'll let you know.
Was that something that was hinted at the graveyard? Electric Mary acoustic gig?
I don't think so. Probably not. I wouldn't
No,
be. No,
no.
no. Oh, not the horse head thing, you mean?
The horsehead thing.
Oh, God, I would have loved that, dude. I would have loved that. I would have probably nearly gladly gone on before them. I would
Yeah.
have, in every other situation, I would have, but because it was our last show, I'm sure I can't go on second last, although I could go and enjoy it. Nah, that couldn't happen.
No, no. I think emotions will be far too high in the evening for
Yeah.
all of you. But I mean, one could dream. So,
Oh, how good would Electric Mary and Horsehead be together? It would be awesome.
my God, that would just be a dream come true.
Yeah.
Fantastic double up, because I mean there is a bit of cross correlation between the two of you. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They inspired me to just knowing that rock and roll was still alive then when I first used to see them, all the way up to the end.
yeah,
And I used to write songs with Cam as well. So I did some I recorded some songs with Horsehead at my house actually. And I went to Cam's just this year with the tapes, and they haven't lasted. They didn't last. They didn't work
no,
out. Oh, I was devastated. I had a lot of bands on there, actually. I used to have a little studio at my house, and I recorded a lot of bands. I recorded Andy's band after called P4,
yep,
where he played bass, and it was a three-piece, and that was great too. There was a cover band called Grunt, which
yep.
is Cam McGlinchey, Timmy Henwood, Guy Palmer, Andy, and they had a thing going too, and they were pretty good too. Andy had a great voice. He was quite Chris Cornellish at the time,
Yeah.
and that was the only tape that worked out. But it was mainly Andy's vocal that worked out. The music never kind of worked. So I don't know what happened to the tapes. I had them in cupboards. I had them in warm places. Maybe it was too hot or something in there, because you can't just leave them. They got to be, you
Temperature
know,
controlled. Yeah.
temperature controlled. And I don't think I did it. I've still got the 8-track. I've still got my 16-track here. That's also got a heap of stuff from early Electric Mary, early Mr. Brown, late Mr. Brown, sorry. So I wondered if that would work as well. That would be also good to find.
For sure. And Mr. Brown never actually released anything, did they, from memory?
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
we had a Triple J hit with a song called Liar Liar.
But as in a
Uh,
physical product. Was there a physical?
yep, yep, yep. Our album was called 4 Foot Head. So 4 Foot Head, and our next
Or hands
first
high? Yeah.
Electric Mary was 4 Hands High.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, that's
Yeah.
an absolute blast. So
And
so
we had another one called, there's an EP, there's two EPs actually, one called Gooda, Gooda, and one called I can't remember, but um they're on a label called Blah Blah Blah. So there may be physical copies somewhere of those around actually.
hmm,
There is physical copies in my garage of um My Best Friend. And it was a double A side. My Best Friend and a song called Should I Stay or Should I Go, which is not the Clash song.
yeah,
Um, which is wow. I hear that song now and I think we probably could have played this as well as My Best Friend.
yeah.
I mean, I wanted to get rid of My Best Friend straight away. It was Alex who said no. He
Hmm.
said, no, 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 keep that. I said, are you kidding? Like, My Best Friend is written in 1996. So it's 7 years after before Electric Mary.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just a song we needed to play to keep it going. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Nice transition. Great
yeah.
stuff. fantastic song.
Well,
So,
it's part of the furniture now.
absolutely. So the set itself, obviously all the hits will be there, all everything that people come to love. Is there anything special for the last show planned?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think we need to finish on a give them what they want sort of set list. And you got to remember, this is not Europe. So in Europe, we play an hour and 50, sometimes 2 hours.
Yeah.
They don't allow you to do that here in Australia. They want you gone because they don't want to play double time and a half for their staff and all that sort of stuff. But usually in Europe it's just one band, one support, and then the main band, and you play for minimum an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens after that is cool. But we learned that very early on. We played in a place called Spirit of 66 in Belgium, in Verviers, and we finished our set. It went for about, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes, and they just looked at us like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, we don't have any other songs." They're like, no, you need to get back up. Just start again. So we did. Let me out. No one does it better than me. We played at least 6 or 7 songs again.
Yeah.
They didn't care. But we learned a lesson. I think we learned 26 songs for this last tour.
Yeah.
And we would probably play 18 to 20 a night, depending on what show. And in Melbourne, we would play 13.
Yeah.
Or 14, because the time is just you play this long and then you're off.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame. But I feel like we've told them that we want to, if we have to start a little bit earlier, the other bands, and then finish with a bit of a longer set, we'll do that for this Melbourne show. Like, it won't be 13 or 14 songs long, that's for sure.
Any plans on recording it for Prosperity,
Yes. We haven't kind of put it in motion, but yes, we should. We definitely should. And that's something I'll speak to Alex about. I haven't really thought about I wonder if he could do that. Maybe Reggie could do that. Maybe he's the right person to look into that. He's got a mobile setup.
Yeah.
Should ask him.
Yeah. Might be worth the question.
Yeah.
So if you have to reflect on 22 years of Electric Mary live, what are your final words and thoughts on the whole journey?
Finally, I got to play in a band that I always thought I could play in. Part of that is finding people that accept what you're doing, but maybe they're actually a little bit better than you. Like, guitarist-wise, we're incredible. Think about who's played with us. Erwin Thomas, Jack Jones, Brett Wood, Pete Robinson, Glenn Proudfoot, Nathan Cavalieri, Timmy Henwood. He's as big as anyone right now.
Simon Hosford, even on
Simon Hosford. Oh, please hit on Simon Hosford. Give me a Simon Hosford story, because you know what? About 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before we went on tour. No, it was a little bit longer than that. I was at Warwick Kappa's house one day, and Simon was there. Now, I've known Simon for probably 20 years, at least, maybe 25, but I've never had a conversation with him. We just say hello and shake hands, and that's it. And, you can ask him maybe, but I feel like he'd had a few this night. And he come up to me, stood right in front of me, and he's like, if you ever need anybody to play guitar, I will drop anything I'm doing and come and play with you, because I'd love the opportunity to play in your band. And to be honest, he knows this. Inside my brain's like, yeah, whatever, mate. Yeah. You just, are you drunk or whatever? Hey, 3 weeks before I'm ringing up and I'm saying, hey, you know how you said you do the shows, would you? And he did, and he was unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. I'm so glad you hit on him because if anyone needs a mention, I mean, the others all know they're great. They all know I love them. But if anyone needs a mention, it's Simon Hosmer because he stepped into some shoes, pretty big shoes to fill, and he filled them admirably. He was magnificent. He was a magnificent person to be around. We stayed a couple of days after we'd finished shows and hung around in Paris together. He's just a good person for me, and that's the most important bit of all, music that I've always wanted to be involved in. You got to get along.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And he was killer dilla.
Yeah,
He was magnificent. I haven't seen him since we've been back. Probably been back 3 or 4 weeks. Could be longer. It's probably way longer. We got back on the 10th. No, it's the 10th today. About 4 weeks. So yeah, we're going to hook up and see it. Look, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but there won't be any surprises of someone jumping up and playing with us because not everyone's available. And I sort of thought, we need to go out with the people that were there at the end.
yeah,
Everyone else is busy doing their stuff anyway. So I just thought that was easy. I've made a couple of calls to people and said, look, I'm not going to ask you. It's not in a rude way. And they're like, mate, I'm not even here. Then I'm there or there,
yeah,
So
yeah,
it was a lot easier. I just want to finish the band that we have now.
yeah.
We're a good band. And I
Right.
want to finish it that way. And I want to be happy and get off stage. And, we've done our thing. We've done 22 years. And, you know, we've made a little mark and we've made a little imprint on people's memories of, shows and songs. So yeah, we'll go away happy.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
definitely go away happy.
yeah,
It's got nothing. So if anyone has any fear of we're breaking up because we don't like each other, that doesn't have anything to do with that. If anything, it's because I feel like my time has come.
yeah,
And so, I'm 65 years old. I just want to go out, sing, and just go, yep, cool. No problemo.
insane,
Yeah.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, right off into the credits. So it's been a remarkable journey, and it's been a great chat, Rusty. We've been friends for years, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't chat as much as we possibly should. But this has been great, just to be able to open the doors on everything that's been Electric Mary.
Yeah. Well,
Stories
thank
I've
you.
heard from other band members, and it's been great. It's been a wonderful institution, and sort of a big part of, I guess, my live music journey as well. And it's hard to think. I was only thinking about it the other night. It'll actually be 13 months since you last played Melbourne.
Wow.
Figure
I
that
didn't
one out.
realize that. Yeah, because November,
It's a corner.
November
Yeah,
30. Yeah,
yeah,
it was Sean's birthday,
yeah.
the anniversary of his birthday. Yeah, the
So
corner.
so yeah, no, it'd be great to see you guys again doing it once more. So
Yeah.
yeah. So anything else you'd like to plug regarding Electric Mary and the final show? And the floor's yours, mate.
Well, make sure you get your tickets for the final show. But there is one thing that we've talked about that we may do. Now, you came to the graveyard the other week. There might be there'll be a cost involved, of course, but I feel like I wanted to, and I've only spoken really to Alex about it, but I feel like I want to. We're rehearsing at the graveyard where you saw us, and on the Sunday between 3 and 6, it's going to be ticketed, but I want to sell maybe 40 tickets, and I want to have people come to our rehearsal and let them hang around for 3 hours and see how we do it, talk to us, maybe ask questions, whatever. Because I don't want to have a meet and greet the day that we're playing. I don't want anything other than us playing.
Yeah.
So on the Sunday, It'll be the 7th of December. We're going to have well, it's not a meet and greet. I mean, come and join us at rehearsal. But what I want the people to do is document themselves on the phone before they go to the show, and then document their feelings before they go to the rehearsal, and document their feelings after they've been to the rehearsal, and then send it to whoever we're going to get to, get that feeling. Because it'll be a good little lurk. I reckon it'd be good. It'd be a good thing to be at. The graveyard's got the bar and the food stores and that. But, maybe 40 people come in there and be a part of something special, because that's our first rehearsal since we've been back. So we rehearse on the Sunday and the Monday, but we utilize the Sunday to do something like that and invite, the people into, a different universe than just going to a gig and hearing songs.
Yeah, absolutely. What a wonderful thing. What a great thing to do for the fans as a thank you. And
but they're gonna have to pay for it.
look, when are you going to get to do it again? Is the thing at the
Exactly.
end of the day?
You know
When are
what?
you going to get to do it again? So
You won't have a chance to be in a rehearsal room with us.
no. So keep an eye out on the socials. Obviously,
Yep.
that will be announced, and a ticket link will obviously go up when it
Yep.
happens, and we'll gladly publish that as well at the Rockpit. And no doubt, just through the Melbourne fan base, that will sell out in no time. But Rusty Brown, thank you so much for your time today. Can't wait for the 13th and now, obviously, the 7th. So be fantastic times.
Thank you, mate.
No worries. Take care.
Yeah, buddy.